The rain poured steadily over the city, drumming against sidewalks and rooftops, blurring the neon lights of the diner on the corner. Inside, Ava sat alone at the counter, her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. She stared at the job rejection email on her phone, her chest tightening. Another no. Another failure. Refill? The voice of the old waitress startled her. Ava looked up and nodded absently. The woman, Betty, had been working at the diner for years. Her uniform was faded, and her hands bore the quiet wrinkles of a life spent serving others. "You okay, hon?" Betty asked, her voice warm but knowing. Ava hesitated. She didn't want to spill her problems on a stranger. But something about Betty's gaze felt safe. "Just another rejection," she admitted. "Feels like I'm getting nowhere." Betty chuckled softly, shaking her head as she poured the coffee. "You remind me of my grandson," she said. "Always measuring himself by the results. Always thinking if he didn't win, he lost. But let me tell you a story." Ava raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Years ago," Betty began, leaning slightly against the counter, "there was this man who came into the diner every day. Homeless, always in the same worn-out coat. He never had enough money, but he'd smile and chat like he belonged. One day, I started sneaking him a little extra, an extra slice of bread, an extra scoop of potatoes. Just small things." Ava listened, momentarily forgetting her own worries. Betty continued, "One night, he left a note instead of payment. It said, 'You kept me going. You reminded me I was human.' That was it. No grand success story, no rags to riches ending. Just, a moment. A moment that mattered." Ava swallowed hard. "So, you never saw him again?" Betty shook her head. "Nope. But that wasn't the point. The point wasn't the results. The point was doing something good, whether I ever saw how it turned out or not." Ava stared down at her coffee, something shifting in her chest. She had been so fixated on getting somewhere that she'd forgotten to value the journey itself. Maybe rejection wasn't failure. Maybe effort alone meant something. Betty patted Ava's hand gently. "Don't focus on the results, sweetheart. Just keep showing up. Keep trying. You never know who you might be helping, even yourself." Ava blinked away the sting in her eyes and smiled. For the first time in a long while, she felt lighter. And outside, the rain finally began to clear.